Okay, so as we saw on your phone, your hand would kind of work out and around, the club would work way on the inside, hooded, inside, flat, and then to compensate for that, you would then rise up, lean forward into it, and now you get a very sort of difficult position to bring the golf club back. So the feeling for you is this movement, so that red line on top of your hands there now, you're bringing the hands in away from that, and the club here, and that's just class, yeah? Literally all you've done there is take, it's almost like imagine you've got a big bucket of water filled to the brim, and you've got to give it to somebody to your right without dropping it, any water, so you're going to go that way, yeah? You wouldn't want to do that, you wouldn't want to do that, yeah? You're going to turn the body, so everything now, so the angle and the position of your body and your arms relative to each other is just moving on that kind of spiraled position with the body rotates. The hips are moving back in, so he's going behind you, he's following suit, and he's just coming back on the same angle, but because he starts further outside, the hands just work inside the club head as it goes back. So you're working the club in there. I think the feeling to a lot of people is almost like that wrist hinge as you go back in that left wrist, pushing down, gets that club up the top of the bat, so you're in a good spot there. So the tee bag, there you go. So there we go. So hands work in, there, okay. Top of the backswing. I'd say on that one there, you probably didn't quite, there you see how you sort of stop turning and just lift your arms up. The problem is if you do that now and you've looked around with your head, the next move now, if you rotate, is going to be the biggest over the top move you've ever seen. So you've got to make sure you get some depth there by turning your hips, okay? But this move is actually pretty good. So hands move in. There we go. So hands are moving in, club staying outside. The club is here, so it's in the window where I want to see it. Next frame is sort of just behind your backside there. We can see it. Some of those clips on the video there, I mean, that club would be over here, so when it's just so far behind and obviously closed. And then top of the backswing now. Reasonable spot. It's not as good as your practice swing, but is it ever really going to be in that spot as good? But at least it's in a position now where we can get that club back down in front, start it left of that yellow line, and get your fade up to the target, okay? So you can get the ball starting left without the fear of that.
Yeah.
And that is for you by massively the biggest feeling. Once that club gets inside, and you've got to think, if your club goes inside and hooded, if they're taking a free kick day back, you're doing that with your foot, you're going to wrap the foot over. And if you try and get the club over the top to try and start it left, it's just like, bye. Yeah, it's going to be, and then you'll try and stand the club up to stop it, and there's your toe goes. Yeah, because the handle's coming up this way, you feel trapped and horrible, and you can't really hit the shot you want to hit. So yeah, so handle works in. I use that sort of phrase like butt in, head out. Yeah, so the butt's going to work in, the head's going to stay outside. It doesn't mean your hands go out. That's the key thing. So when you're using that kind of the blue joint there with the ball on the end of it, okay, to keep that thing in your shoulder, you have to hinge the wrists to bring it back in, yeah? So you're just taking your wrist hinge that you've already got, triggering it a little bit as you turn hip and shoulder, and that keeps the arms and the club working on the arc together, yeah? We don't want to go back kind of this or this elbow, and that, because now where do you go? You can't, the elbow's got to pull backwards, and then you're in all sorts of trouble, aren't you? Yeah, so hold a rugby ball, tip of the ball on top, and just keep the same movement, yeah? You don't want to be going this way, bow that way, or push it out of there. Yeah. Okay, mate?
Perfect.
Happy, yeah? Yeah, good man.